It's a pleasure to have you join us this morning. Today is Wednesday, the 24th day of September 2025. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. You're watching Signature Morning on Signature TV. Lillian.
Good morning, Ute.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Well, we're seeing that Natasha resumes at Senate. She's back after her 6-month suspension.
Yes, her office was unsealed yesterday. I think it's a great step for her.
Finally, finally we can rest from the constant Natasha this, Natasha that on the papers and the likes. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I am Ikenna Chindi Olua.
And I am Lillian Wale. Coming up next is our newspaper headlines and review this morning. Do stay with us. And now we're ready for our newspaper headlines. And coming from the Punch newspaper, 8.41 trillion naira oil theft drains economy, fuels investors' doubts. Experts fault lack of arrest, prosecutions in 4 years, I-0 oil theft. Regulator hails lowest losses in 16 years amid reservations by analysts.
And on page 3, Natasha resumes at Senate, calls Ababio dictator. 411% revenue rise won't stop FG borrowing, says FIRS on page 2.
And on page 21, CBN lowers interest rates, OPS demands credit relief. And about strike, SSANU and NASU extend ultimatum, that's on page 7.
Now on page 29, Remi Tinubu says 20 billion naira library fundraiser not for 2027. And we have arms racketeering, 3 soldiers court-martialed, jailed for life.
Lagos cop, woman killed as container crushes tricycle. Pengasan Lupen rejects government's plan to sell assets.
Now on the Daily Independent newspaper, we have telecom users express frustration over high data voice costs.
CBN confirms 14 banks have met new capital requirements. And Tinubu is one-term president. Mandate ends in 2027, says ADC.
Pengasan rejects FG's planned sale of JV oil assets. Says sale may mortgage future of coming generations. Warn against alleged plan to amend PIA.
And on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, business leaders express hope as CBN cuts interest rate to 27%. It's a step towards building more resilient, growth-oriented economy, CPPE says. NECA DG urges strategic easing to boost growth.
Ekiti 2026, I have confidence in our party, says Oyebanji. Alleged land grabbing. Ogun government files charges against 2 traditional rulers, others.
And on health matters, uncontrolled high blood pressure puts over 1 billion people to risk, says WHO.
Now on the Vanguard newspaper, we have 14 banks fully meet new capital requirements, says CBN. CBN reduces interest rates to 27%. External reserves hits $43 billion. NECA demands reforms to ease cost of living crisis. CBN's easing of credit conditions a welcome, timely intervention, says CPPE.
PFN to government, fix economy and corruption, empower citizens. Tinubu Atiku in fierce battle for Buhari's Northern Bloc. And on insecurity, nursing mom abducted, 3 soldiers jailed for selling arms to terrorists.
Now on the Daily Trust newspaper, unions reject sale of oil and gas assets.
Cut interest rate further, economists tell central bank. And Remi Tinubu raises 20 billion naira for library project.
Soldiers bag life jail for selling arms to terrorists. And policeman, 5 others killed in Lagos Yobe road crashes.
And Saudi Grand Mufti dies at 82. And yes, that is the much we can take on our newspaper headlines this morning. You're welcome. Thank you so much, Mr. Chris, as usual, for joining us to do our review.
Good morning, Lillian. Good morning, Uche.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, the world, and all the people who have joined us this morning.
Good
God
morning.
bless you. We thank God for another day. Yes, we're here for another day of newspaper review on Signature TV. So I expect the ladies to take the first shot. They say ladies first.
Yes, please. Okay. On the Punch newspaper, we're seeing that 8.41 trillion naira oil theft. Oil theft drains economy, fuels investors' doubts.
The Punch, as usual, has come with a punchy theme. But despite how punchy the headline is, we all know the fact. We know the fact that no one goes sowing seeds with squirrel in his or her bag. Nigeria is blessed by God. And the people of Nigeria have turned the blessing of God into a curse for themselves. If God gives you crude oil, you steal all that you have managed to explore. I'm sure if the colonial masters or the Igbo people didn't come to help us strike oil in Nigeria, we probably would have been still doing farming and all that. But since Nigeria found oil, they forgot everything about their essence and went into oil. But then along the line, like the Bible says, while men were asleep, the devil, they said the enemy went to sow tar in the man's millet farm. Whoever sowed the tar of corruption in Nigeria oil and gas have done Nigeria great harm. Then the harm that Nigerians are doing to themselves by conniving with international criminal gangs to steal our oil, sell it, go back there, buy the refined one, bring it back here, and few Nigerians are making money every day. And any effort to think about touching that area, they will fight back. 8.4 trillion oil theft. So, like I always say, the proverb of bone and silence. If you use 1 million to go and carve your teeth, how much will you get when you smile? If Nigeria has lost 8.41 trillion in oil theft, how much have they made selling the one that didn't thief? And by the way, we only hear oil theft. The one that they didn't thief and they managed to sell as crude oil, where is the money? How much? How much trillion liters? How do they measure? Nigerians do not know whether they measure the crude oil in gallons, in liters, I don't know. So how much do we have left every day after the oil theft? What do Nigerian establishment do with that? So somebody said they will leave their own fault and they were talking about the fault of Mokoye. They leave the main issue, the substance, and they're pursuing the shadow. How can you, after eating, you did not find yourself belly full with food? Then you start using toothpick to pick the one in your teeth to belly full you. If the crude oil in Nigeria strike and explore and bring out of the soil of Nigeria every day, it's not enough for us. We keep counting the ones that have been stolen. And by the way, who steals? You know, there are so many things. There are so many things that Nigerians. There are so many things Nigerians are not getting right. They will tell us about the ones stolen. They won't tell us about the one that were not stolen that's left. And they will not account. You are not accounting for the one that is left in the house, not stolen. So why are we deceiving ourselves as a nation? We gather ourselves together every day to deceive ourselves. Something is wrong. And that's why I'm worried. You know?
We're seeing that Natasha returns to Senate. On the Punch, you have calls Akpabio dictator. On another, you have says vows not to apologize, and you know there are different other. I think
the newspapers also help to sensationalize the whole issue. The fact that Natasha has returned, thanks to Senate, that is at least the 10th Senate have achieved something. They've actually obeyed their rule because they were the people who suspended Natasha, and 6 months after, they allowed Natasha come back. But when they allowed the media to begin to sensationalize everything, even Natasha cough, he called this, and they called this person this, called this person this. I don't know. But since I am here to review what is happening in our headlines, both the people who are writing the story and the person they are writing for are now sharing this blame. If because what are they achieving to escalate all this for now? And then, by the way, I've been on the side of Natasha since this issue started. I am sure she shouldn't overdo things any longer. You know, we are objective and care. What is good for the woman who has belly is also good for the man who gave her belly. And if you are a mushroom, a forest that avoid the basket, should not grow mushroom. So Natasha, as far as she wants her respect and her human right respected, she shouldn't by any way overuse her own right to offend other people. That's the way you do things, you find out you're overdoing it. I think if anything is coming up again from Natasha Akpoti, the senator, she may at this point overdoing it. And she should know that when this crowd that gathered to clap for you, and I learned there was a confirmed story that even their supporters followed, they had to go and resume. Yeah. For what? What are they trying to achieve? And they were dispersed with tear gas. What? What for? Now, the supporters, are they going to follow her to Senate chambers thereafter? No, Nigerians, I don't know, we overdo things at times. We have, if it's achieving, she's not even achieving anything. The Senate gave her suspension and recalled her back. If there are astounding issues, they should settle. You don't need to carry followers. And they should watch her mouth. Because they were saying that the bed has not, a small bed that is trying to perch on a tree, the bed has not perched. And it has deposited 10 feet height of sheet. So what will that bed do when she eventually perch? Natasha Akpoti, the senator, distinguished senator of the Kogi Central, should watch her steps henceforth. She should allow people clapping and shouting for her to mislead her any further, because this fight doesn't lead anybody. After 6 months, Kogi Central have lost representation in the affairs of Nigeria. So whatever they would have gained, they didn't get. Whatever they would have known and be brought to them, you know, of course, much is not coming out of anyway. I don't think they missed much. But then, by the way, assuming they are missing much, then somebody should not escalate to continuously push her to start making unnecessary statements to the media. She will leave it. The fight is enough. She was not sent there by Kogi Central to keep to fight and fight and fight. Because the last duty of a man, you remember I said it here many times, is to fight, to live, to tell the story of the war. Not to die fighting, because you will only come to your tomb and put an epitaph. Here lies the hero. So, what do you get? But if you come telling your own story, then you gather moss, and people will call you the real hero.
All right, so moving forward, we're seeing on different newspaper that Nupeng Pengasan rejects FG's planned sale of JV oil assets.
I don't know why the Nupeng, you know, when you find a butterfly cling to a flower, that flower must be producing, you know, what the butterfly needs. But the butterfly will not care whether the tree producing the flower and those things that butterfly will go to pick, or the bees go to pick from the tree, whether it's paining. I'm sorry I will use this analogy. My father said that a baby that is being carried on the back doesn't know that the journey is painful and far. And that also that the dog that somebody is also shitting for to eat doesn't know that it pains the ass to shit. Nupeng, as far as they know, they cling to oil and gas. They don't know what is costing federal government. If federal government want to sell their refinery and oil assets, they should sell it if it's no more asset. Because Nupeng will cling on it. Just like NNPCL has been clinging on it for more than 30 years of docility and inactivity. But they are earning all their money. And the government will, imagine the golden egg gives that laid the golden egg, the government will go probably to agriculture and get money to invest in oil and for nothing. So why are we investing in refineries and all that didn't work? And the federal government is continuing sale of oil, and the Nupeng said, for what reason? Selfishness. They've not come out to say nothing. Just like Nupeng hangs everywhere. If there's a modern refinery built by individual, they will go there and hang. The people working in there must be in their union, so that they hold us to ransom at all points once they cough. If Nupeng cough, fuel, the first day they cough in Nigeria, fuel went back, we start paying transport 500% for a few hours until they call up this. That's what they want. And they think Nigerians were watching Nupeng. Federal government know what to do. Nupeng cannot stop federal government from deciding on what they do with their utility. Nupeng is only a union. And by the way, it's because Nigeria move fuel by road. If all the railways in Nigeria start working, then we'll have railing. They will go and start driving the train and so blocking the train from conveying oil, refined oil, petroleum product to all parts of Nigeria. It is Nigeria that went to fetch ant-infested firewood. He has brought Nupeng, Damang, this, Ipu woman, Ipu man, all those things to ask them as lizards for a visit. They are then really necessary to determine when the servants are determining what the Oga will do. That's Nigeria for you, a complex society. The union will decide the weather, and just for selfish reason. I think, like some people say, some oil facilities that in Nigeria are no more viable should be given away either for PPP to public-private practice, partnership, to see whether, instead of hanging on it for life, and we are suffering. Very soon, fuel, I was saying, the better they put fuel at 10,000 naira, if that's what they make now, but it won't be enough. They will still chop the money and put 20. That's what all of them are running around. Fuel price cannot stabilize. They're accusing people selling fuel because part of what's making fuel not to work is this excess line of people hanging on before it gets to downstream. So before fuel leaves, for instance, Dangote plant to get to your, if it leaves Dangote plant at 500 naira, it gets to the consumer at 1,000 naira.
All right, Chris, let's look at another headline. On the Daily Independence, we are seeing telecom users express frustration over high data and voice costs.
Not just only high data and voice costs, drop calls, frustration. Everywhere you see, they have turned Nigerians into mad people. You will see, hello, people shouting around, walking around. They say, change your location. In 2025, after they've collected all the money and handed over their SIM cards that are not working, and we have NCC, the regulatory body. This is what they're telling us. How many times have NCC acted on the complaint of Nigerians on tariff hike and the ineffectiveness of the services? Before you know it, they will modern idea of hiking again. And the regulatory body will be complicit. And they will come and swear to Nigerians they don't know what's happening to us. I know that what makes a cocoyam to die is from the west, the uku, the root of cocoyam. Whatever tariff and telecom communication companies are doing in Nigeria, NCC, Nigerian Communication, whatever commission, is part of it. They are part of it. And we are complaining and they are smiling. Something is wrong. Because if for instance, they are part of it and they are not feeling this pain, something is wrong. If they are Nigerians, they are working in NCC, are part of Nigeria, they have relations, nuclear understanding, they have communities. Even if they are sealed their conscience with hot iron, This is what happened. Nobody is punishing them. We are paying for high data, for voice, and for high tariff for voice and data without getting services. We will start calling the name of telecom companies. They will come. We'll be soon. We'll be calling their names because it is wicked and insensitive. Because somebody said, if the FCC cannot protect the consumers of telecom services in Nigeria, we'll begin to protect ourselves. This is unacceptable, and it's wickedness.
All right, before we go, 14 banks fully meet new capital requirement, and CBN reduces interest rate to 27%.
For banks and for borrowers. The interest rate is for people who are into business and want to borrow. So at the level we talk, I am for the masses. For those capitalist chain of machineries that milk out people and they don't care, I'm not concerned what they do with themselves. If you want to reduce interest rate for them, they reduce person whenever chop, they go borrow money. Maybe when you get the one business you are doing. How many Nigerians are in business? When they make them to die, and some of them run away to the neighboring countries, they will start reducing. Why doing the first thing last? They will go back and beg all the pharmaceutical companies that have left Nigeria because of hard to do business in Nigeria situation to come back when they're reducing interest rate. For who? God bless them. They can. Why are they reducing it in the first place? If they know they are doing wonderfully well, why? Leave it at where it is. In fact, increase it. You are increasing taxes. You are increasing tariffs. You are increasing everything in Nigeria. You are reducing interest rate. Are you robbing Peter to pay Paul? What have you achieved? Like I keep saying, they're coming out with figures. How it touches us, that 240 million Nigerians, it's what I'm interested in. I don't care these Oyibo they are speaking, confusing everybody.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Lillian. Thank you, Chair. Well, and we have come to the end, like you said. When you keep thanking me like this, I know time is up. So I know that God will bless all of you that have watched this morning, and bless my young ladies here who are my friends, and bless everybody, mostly Nigerians. But remember, blessing of God is for those who deserve to be blessed.
Save Nature TV, news in your pocket.